All right, so I'm going to bring Mark Donovan on. Mark is with Audio Tech. Mark, first off, I got to say, congratulations on the new role and congratulations on the promotion.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Well, you deserve it, man. You are the hardest working. This is, by the way, I think this is the first time I've not seen you in a suit.
Probably. It's been a while.
I tell you what, you look different to me because I'm used to seeing you all suited up at shows and stuff. But I appreciate the casual nature of the everyday job.
That's funny. Yeah, but no, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It has been a long road to try to get things to where we want it to be here at Audio Technica, and I'm glad to be a part of that. So.
Well, you're doing a phenomenal job. I really appreciate your willingness to do this and leading the commercial operations at Audio Technica, because obviously you make consumer products. And in fact, I have to give you giant kudos, giant kudos, because last week I was in Japan for Star Wars Celebration. Audio Technica had a booth there where they introduced the Star Wars line of earpods that include microphones and things like that. And these things are character driven. Like they have one that looks like R2D2, one that looks like the Mandalorian. Like it is a killer. I know we're not here to talk about that, but I have to give you kudos as a giant Star Wars fan, and your booth was packed.
It's pretty cool, really. I mean, to think about it, just to be associated with some, IP like Star Wars and have all it is really cool, and they're limited edition things too. So yeah, it's exciting.
Well, I'll be in touch because I need a pair. But look, we're here to talk about the System 20 Pro.
Yep.
And congratulations on how launching that and the success of that product line. For those that don't know, talk about what it is and sort of where it fits into the ecosystem in collaboration.
Well, for those that don't know, I mean, System 20 is the next generation from System 10 Pro, which had been around for about a decade, actually, and it had been very successful. And actually, it was one of those lines that just kept on going, kept on increasing, kept on selling more of them. And what it is it's actually a wireless microphone system that is extremely easy to operate, extremely easy to set up, and it's operating in that 2.4 gigahertz space. So it's going to be that's going to be a legal spectrum no matter where you go. In the world, pretty much. You're going to be able to go wherever and plug that thing in, and it sets itself up. It sets its own frequencies, and it's easy.
What does that mean, sets itself up?
So what it does is when you you turn the receiver on, the first thing it does is it listens to the environment to see what's there. Just look for phones and Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and everything else that might exist within that space. And then it uplinks from the receiver to the transmitter and says, hey, here's some clear area for you to operate on. And then the transmitter transmits its information back down. But the magic there is that it's continually doing those different phases. So even if I walk in with a laptop and set it down and turn it on and connect Wi-Fi, if it gets in the way, it'll just move out and go somewhere else. So, and all of this is without touching anything.
Interesting. And so basically, I don't have to worry about whether I'm doing this in Germany or North Carolina or Australia. Nope. I'm going to be okay no matter where I'm located. I don't ever have to worry about the frequency spectrum or have to look it up to make sure it's legal in a particular country or anything.
That's fact. Take it anywhere you want. But get on a plane, fly from here, go to, Argentina or wherever. It's going to work, and it's going to work well.
Okay, so I'm going to put up an image of it here. I want to know, so why are there so many antenna options there, and what is that doing there?
So, I mean, the thing, it makes it perhaps looks a little intense when you look at the front panel and you see those 4 antennas on it, but you got to understand that small rack unit that you see, that half rack unit, is actually capable of handling up to 4 channels, actually being able to receive 4 channels. And so that's what you're seeing. I mean, each antenna doesn't relate specifically to a channel, but, there's a lot going on inside of this small box.
Interesting. Okay. So what are the different kinds of microphones? Obviously, you have a handheld mic, right? Is this a
Yeah.
boundary mic or is this a lav receiver? This is a lav receiver, I assume, right?
So you've got 4 transmitter options. You've got the handheld dynamic, which you would expect. You've got a belt pack, which you can connect a lav or a headset or whatever you want to it. You also have a boundary microphone that has a condenser boundary element in it, and you have a desktop transmitter that has an XLR connector, so you can use whatever gooseneck that you want to.
Okay. Wow. So it's got all 4 mic types all in one box. And this is the System 20 Pro, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And so where do you see this dropping in most logically quickest?
So where I'm seeing it going in, like you said, it's actually, first off, it is a system that you could very easily put in a performance space because of its quality and its very low latency and its standard mode. However, where I see this happen often is in your meeting spaces, your lecture spaces, classrooms, because a lot of times these guys are like, look, I need 2 channels. I need one handheld, one belt pack. And I just need something that's really simple, but sounds great and has, works well. Well, this is something you can just easily slap in a room and you're up and running in minutes. And from an integrator standpoint, you don't have to worry about somebody calling you up 2 days later because they have to go back and change frequencies. From an end user standpoint, they're just going to turn it on and it's going to work. There's really not even, some of the older stuff, people could play with buttons, buttons aren't toys kind of thing, and they could change channels, but you can't do that with this. So it's just really easy. And I won't say it's foolproof, but it's
you do. I assume you have mic input level adjustment, right? I mean, you're going to have to give them that at a minimum, right?
Well, actually, what the really cool thing is, what we like to do at Audio Technica is we like to give you a lot of variety. So you can actually go in and you can just lock down that receiver so that nobody has control of anything. But you also have our software package that allows you to access everything, which includes mic levels, equalization on each mic, compressors, limiters. You can even mix all 4 of those down to just one. So we give you a lot of control.
Okay, that's really nice. So is this delivering now as well?
Absolutely is. Yep.
All right, congratulations on this.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. So I want to also, since I've got can I ask you a couple other questions since I have your
Absolutely, I got time.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I want to ask about your room. Your one of the things that Brad talked about was your ceiling mic was a ceiling mic system and how important that's become. Yes. I want to ask about that. I want to give you a chance to talk about that because I think that's a big piece of collaboration, right? Is it sort of seamlessly hiding these microphones and making it where you can walk into any room and use it at any moment in time without having to worry about where the mic is or clipping a mic on. Could you tell me where Audio Technica is with that and what the options are?
So we've got our beamforming ceiling array. Of course, we've got one model of that, and it's very similar to what you would find as far as coverage area goes of your Sennheiser, your solutions and your Shure solutions out there. It's been on the market for a little while. I think that, like you said, people are wanting to have that system in the ceiling as something they don't have to look at, that's something they don't have to touch, which again is a big deal. Since COVID, that has become even more important. But we're seeing it in quite a variety of spaces. And our system, as was your previous, you were talking to Brad there, it's our integrations with other people is also key. Because one thing that we focus on is the fact that, we are not selling a box. We're selling a puzzle piece, and we need to make sure it fits in with all the other puzzle pieces that are out there.
Yeah, and this is the ceiling mic option, and you obviously have all the other mic types as well that could be sitting there in the room. But obviously, and you obviously have the different configurations. You work with Crestron, as you mentioned, and all the other brands out there that are doing doing rooms. So that's. Because I think a lot of people are building small conference rooms, meeting, Teams room, Zoom room, things like that. And they want to be able to have a walk in and use or walk up and use experience without having to worry about that. But you do provide them the options. And of course, you now can drop the System 20 Pro into the room as well.
Absolutely. And we're looking for that complete solution to be able to provide the best possible audio to get the best possible experience.
Yeah. I'm, obviously we got a big trade show coming up here in a couple of months in InfoComm. You're going to be at InfoComm with this and the entire Audio Technica product line. May I also recommend that you consider bringing the limited edition Star Wars stuff to the show as well, because I have a feeling it's going to be awfully popular.
I'll have to talk to this. I'll talk to the marketing guys about that.
At least do a giveaway. At least do a giveaway.
Actually, that would be pretty cool. Actually, so I will talk to those guys to see what we can come up with.
There's a whole bunch of us, as Brad called us, closeted Star Wars fan. I'm less closeted because I put tattoos on my hands with all the stuff that Star Wars.
Look, we're in a technical industry. I don't think there's a lot of closeted going on that one. Yeah, so we're all technology geeks. Whatever.
All right. Well, look, hey, thanks for doing this. Thanks for coming on today. I really appreciate it. One of the questions, I have a quick question for you from Dave Riches, who came up and said, one of the concerns with the System 10 Pro as an early adopter was the amount of handling noise the transmitters had, specifically the handheld. Has this been improved for the System 20 Pro?
Actually, that's a great question, Dave, because that was one of the big things. I mean, the development of System 20 Pro was really driven by voice of the customer. All of the cool things in it. And that was a prime thing, as people said, let's make sure the handling noise in that handheld is vastly improved, and it is.
Good. All right. Well, again, congratulations. I look forward to seeing you at InfoComm. I guess you'll be
not that far away. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be back in a suit. Who knows? You might see me wandering around Orlando in something other than a suit, but yeah. So.
Yeah, well, look, hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for doing everything, and thanks for all you do for the industry as a person, because you've done a phenomenal job educating a lot of us on audio technology, and appreciate it. Of course, you can check out Audio Technica, and remember, it's got a dash in there. Audio, AUDIO dash Technica, TECHNICA.com is how you spell them. They have a commercial audio section, but all the consumer stuff is there as well. Steph